And welcome to the METALIDADS Fathers of Metal podcast with myself, Dadi Huw. And in today's episode, I am happy to say that we have Frank Thorwarth of German thrash metal veterans TANKARD. Gyda, Frank.
Yeah, Gyda. So you speak very well German.
Thank you very much. I have not been practicing for an entire week, I promise.
Yeah, very good. Well, also, the pronunciation of my name was not so bad.
Well, how would you pronounce it properly?
In German, it's Frank Thorwarth.
Thorwarth, okay.
Yes.
I've never come across it before, so I should have asked you before the interview, but I thought I'll just try and do a two-footed tackle, just give it all my commitment.
Yeah, this name is very seldom, also in Germany.
All right,
especially with the way it's written with these THs at the front and the beginning. This is very. I guess everybody with this name is somehow a relative of me, even if I do not know them.
There must be some type of Viking ancestry there somewhere, Frank.
Yeah, everybody is thinking this because of Thor, the god of the northern god, but it's much less nice. It's just the guy who is standing in front of a door.
Okay.
It's a really old word for a bouncer.
Oh, really?
Yes. So imagine in medieval, a guy standing there with a sword or something in front of the castle and waiting or leaving, putting the people out or in. Let's say like this. So that's it. That's a story behind.
It can't be more boring than my last name, Clark. It literally means a man that sits at a desk. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I'm fulfilling my ancestorial purpose. So again, thanks so much for speaking to us today. I'm really grateful for your time. So are you currently at home?
Yes, I'm sitting at home in my office. So I have a small office here, a room, because my children, two of them do not live anymore in our house. And so for this, I have now my own room where I have my bass guitar and my guitar and my stuff in and can do music, and for sure have also my computer here and can Skype with you.
That's excellent. I didn't actually know you were a dad, so I can ask you a couple of things about that afterwards, which sort of relates to our theme. But getting back to the matter at hand, now it's not a secret, Frank, but there's a special anniversary this year for a certain band. Do you want to tell me a bit more about it? The Big 40.
Yeah, so we have our 40th anniversary this year. So we have started in, around April 1982. And it's really, I cannot imagine that it worked out so many years and without any break. So we never stopped our activities in the band. So we are young schoolboys, classmates, let's say, and we made the decision, okay, now we have to do some music. That was maybe the initial starting of the band, that we have listened to hard rock and heavy metal at the time and said, come on, let's try by ourselves somehow.
Hey, but you're still going strong as well, so you'll have to let me know where you get your beer, as there's something special in it, clearly.
Yeah, maybe. But unfortunately, there is no secret because I change the brands and the type of beer I like very often. 2 or 3 times a year, I change from Pilsner to other stuff, to lager style, whatever.
I think as we get older, our taste buds change as well, and you can get bored of the same type of flavor. And it depends on the time of year as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, could be. I don't know. So after a while, like you said, it's getting boring, and then I change.
Hey, thanks, man.
I'm not sure. In England, I think it's the same. So your wife, the wives are very bored waiting for their husbands in the hobby market. So this is not in my relationship. My wife gets bored when she has to wait in the drinking market where you get the different beer kinds. So when I'm going around there and reading the what is standing on the bottle and reading what are the ingredients or stuff like that. This is
beer is serious business. You got to give it the craft and the love it deserves.
Absolutely.
So, as you mentioned, it's 40 years. Yourself and a few other bands that are, as the media call it, the Teutonic Four, Creator, Destruction, and Sodom. They're all respectively having similar anniversaries as well this year, because I think a lot of them started in 1982. But you obviously, the last big anniversary had was, of course, 2017 with your release of One Foot in the Grave. Now, every time you get let's say, an anniversary, do you get quite nostalgic about the early days of the band? If so, what type of memories does the nostalgia bring back to you? You obviously mentioned the classroom with Andreas, the singer. And did you sort of get almost like your entire time with the band sort of come back into your mind? Anything that sticks out for you?
Yeah, for sure. This is my whole life, let's say, almost my whole life to do it. As you said, so as we started with the band, I was already a long time in a friendship with our singer, with Andy, and we call him Gyda. So,
yeah, of course, Gyda.
Yeah, for sure. But so with him, so we met first when we were 6 years old in first class, in first grade in school. We met, and since this time we are, we are friends together and sticking together, doing music. The music comes later, much later for sure. But at the end, we are still together and doing our stuff. And the other guys also are very long in the band. So the drummer Olaf is in the band since '94, and our new kid on the block, what we say always, Andy, our guitar player, is in the band since 24 years.
Yes,
now, since '98. So it's a relatively stable construct what we have here.
It's amazing how people. It's like the band Sepultura. Derek, the singer, still known as the new guy, and he's been in the band since 1997, so 26, 27 years or whatever it is. But it's funny that's the newest member is always known as the new guy. Even like, Rob Trujillo, he's been in for, 18, 19 years now as well. That's nice to know that you've got a nice sort of tight-knit family, because it really has to be a family, because you're with each other on the road for such a long length of time as well, aren't you? So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Frank, so tell me, of course, this year on the 25th of February, there is something being released. Would you like to tell me a bit more about that?
Yes, for sure. This is our somehow an anniversary box from our time with Noise Records, which was our first record company. They made a big mistake. They have signed us at the time in 1986 or 98. I don't know, kind of remember when the signing was, but the album was released. The first one, Zombie Attack, in 1986. And with this time, what we had with Noise Records, our beginning, there was a box created which continues the old records at the time, which continues a nice book with pictures, a lot of pictures in, and interview stuff is in, and DVD with unreleased material is in, and a lot more. So it's available as a CD compilation and also as vinyl with picture discs. So not let's say not picture, it's colored discs.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Obviously Noise Records, they finished. Was it the late, I think 2001, I think they ceased, but then was it BMG Rights Management revived Noise Records, didn't I believe, in 2016. Was it them that contacted you in regards to the idea behind the vinyl box set, or did you guys approach them?
No, they contacted us, as far as I know. But frankly spoken, I'm not so deep in business, so I'm more in music.
Cool, man.
And in business, I was for sure. I'm asked, do we want to do that or whatever, this or that? But nevertheless, I was not involved at the beginning here when the first conversations have started. But as far as I know, this came not from us directly. The idea were from Noise or BMG. Let's say.
That's cool, man. And obviously, you mentioned your first full studio album, Zombie Attack. Now, you're, I suppose, lucky to be in that legacy, I suppose. Now, 1986, I suppose, is known as the golden year for thrash metal, because you have, of course, Rain in Blood, Master of Puppets, Pleasure to Kill, and so many other albums. It's great that you guys can contribute, that your debut album came out in 1986. I've actually had Tankard on all day on my my Spotify playlist, and I had to start in chronological order today. And you did really good with the remaster, and that it really captures the moment of 1986 really well in the remaster, because sorry to tell you, Frank, but I was born in 1987, so I wasn't around in 1986 to witness it for the first time. But I'm glad that I've been able to enjoy the remaster.
Yeah, they're exactly 20 years younger than I am, because I was born in 1967.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
I thought you were older as I read your email address, because it's in hotmail.com. And if you remember, I have also private, my email address is also a hotmail.de for Germany.
Yeah,
and I know everybody has changed and only older people have a Hotmail still. This is what somebody told me. I do not know that if it's the truth, but I heard this.
I'm glad to surprise you. I'm getting slightly grey in the beard, but not quite Gandalf level quite yet. Now, of course, it's a box set, which is a vinyl box set. Now, there is more vinyl being bought now than, from what I believe, than at any time in human history. What about yourself? Are you a vinyl collector?
Not anymore. And to be honest, I do not have a record player anymore. I just have for sure a CD player and all that other electronic stuff. But I still have all my vinyls left. So we are always thinking about, we need to buy a new record player, but at the time we didn't do so. But it's interesting. I like the idea to come back to that, and even, let's say, even with the artwork and so on, what you have with a vinyl is much better than on a CD, because a compact disc is too small. So there are a lot of efforts to create all these album covers and the backsides of the albums, and on a vinyl you have it much bigger and it's much nicer to see. I like the idea behind, yeah, absolutely.
I'm in a similar situation to you. I actually have acquired vinyls from my late great uncle, and they're sitting in my attic right now, a box of about 50 of them. Jimi Hendrix, Bowie, Wishbone Ash, Thin Lizzy, sort of that era, Cream. But I'm the same as you. I haven't got a vinyl player, but it's one of those things I've been meaning to get around to do eventually.
Yeah.
So in regards, say, the past couple of years, I'm not going to mention much about the past couple of years because we need an escapism to forget about it, to be honest. But of course, going for beers and going to gigs has been something of a rare treat for yourself and myself. How have you dealt with not being able to do these things? Because obviously it came to a grinding halt with you, especially early in lockdown. I'm not 100% sure how it has been in Germany compared to the UK, but Germany locked down a lot sooner from what I remember. So how did you deal with that? Just right at the beginning.
So this was really strange. At the beginning, so it was, it started in Germany March 20 around it started. And so we were fully booked this year with shows. And at the end, everything was cancelled at the time or postponed to 21. But even in 21, it didn't happen, yeah. But this was strange. So after such a long period with playing almost each weekend and traveling around, so the first couple of months, we talked together and said, it's not so bad. Relax, coming down and a little bit relax, being more in the family and doing family business stuff and so. But it took maybe 6 months, and then it got really boring and get crazy. So sometimes we felt like tigers in a zoo walking behind the fence, around, because you are used to do this your whole life, and then it stops. And this was, like I said at the beginning, was nice, calm down, relax a little bit, but at the end it got bored. So we had, if I remember correctly, in 20 we had 5 shows. And in 21, we had 8 shows.
Wow.
So this was not so bad to have these. But the best thing was in November 21, we had 3 shows in 1 month. This was a good feeling. So I was so full of energy, even with other activities outside of the band, full of energy. But now this were the last shows we had in November. And there are already some this year postponed. and next show would be then in March, which is still not cancelled, and we hope this will run, and then normal life will go on, but I'm not sure if this really works. We do not know how this will develop, the COVID, the pandemic situation here. Nobody knows, and so let's see. But I hope to do that. But on the other hand, we had time. We have recorded a new album, what will be released later this year. So there will be a second anniversary party with a new album and some stuff, because this box is very beautiful, but for sure it's old stuff, let's say. It's history, it's our legacy. But at the end, we are still working on it, and a new album will be created. Tomorrow we go to the studio and do some listenings and some rehearsals. If we have to change slightly some things and so on. And this is how we took the time now to keep the band running.
Brilliant.
And meeting for some parties.
Of course, it fits into the theme. So it's been 5 years since 2017's One Foot in the Grave, and to be honest, that's actually one of my favourite TANKARD albums. As I said to you, you guys really are still going strong, and Ger's vocals on the album, I think, are arguably the finest I've ever heard it. So he's got no sort of sign of slowing down at all. So I was really happy. It's really great to hear that captured on the album. So I for one, am very excited for your new release this year. Is it September this year you're hoping to release it, if all goes well?
I think so. This is planned, but for sure, at the end, I don't know. But this is the outlook to that. This is the planning, somehow September. So let's see what will come. I don't know at the end. But this is the plan. So the recordings are almost finished, and then all the other stuff, the business stuff, starts. For sure, I'm luckily not so involved. And at the end, then let's see what will be the outcome. And I hope you like it. I like it very much, to be honest. I'm very satisfied yet, because I did not hear the final product. It's not mixed now, not mastered and nothing, just recorded, and even the recording is not finalized. That's why we go tomorrow again. But at the end, it's just until now, we are all really enthusiastic about it.
Great. I can feel the enthusiasm just over the computer screen. And again, I for one, am very excited for the new release. So really looking forward to hear some fantastic new material. So as I mentioned to you at the beginning, so METALIDADS, so we are a small community of fathers based all over Wales in the UK. We love metal music. We support our dads through parenthood, and we support our mental health and well-being. So could you share with us, what do you do every day or every week really to keep yourself happy and keep yourself well? Any advice for our other dads in METALIDADS?
First, sorry to say that England at the beginning, so I didn't know.
It's okay, no problem. I'm not going to hang up on you. It's fine. It's fine.
I didn't know that. Sorry.
Don't worry.
To keep me happy, yes. First is for sure being part of a band and having the best friends of the world. This is so important. But next thing is my family, my wife, and I have 3 adult sons. So my youngest is 18. And the oldest guy is 27 already. And so for sure they keep me busy and they keep me happy most of the time, let's say like this. As you have children by yourself, you know how this works, sometimes better, sometimes less better. But at the end, this keeps me happy. And for sure, as you are, sometimes you said me something about health also with your page. So I'm doing a little bit sports every day. So not so much. I'm going a walk with my dog every day. I have a dog, so around 1 hour. And then I do some little training things, not so much. So I'm not really a sports guy. So there you better talk to our guitar player, Andy, because he is an Ironman.
Oh, really? Wow.
Full stuff with this 42 kilometers, 3.5 swimming, 42 as a marathon distance, and this 180 kilometers cycling, I think. So he is really in sports. he's crazy. Nobody can understand.
Maybe that's why I can't shred on the guitars, because I'm not an Iron Man. Maybe I need to work on that.
Yeah, maybe. I hope not. Because better shredding on the guitar instead of taking this. Wow. So I cannot imagine. So we're doing a little bit sport. I do a little bit swimming, and that's all. But to be honest, I get fatter and fatter within the years. So I do not know why, but I think this is normal situation mainly. If you don't do really heavy sports like Andy for sure is doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think with men, beer belly, well, it just goes to one place and it sort of stays in that place. I think the older we get, the harder we have to work at the nutritional side as well. As sad as that is, because we all like a beer, but that's maybe one tougher thing I've realized the older I get. I can't do the same things I did before, ingest the same things I did before, and keep the same training. Something has to increase, and unfortunately the nutrition or the beer has to decrease. But yeah, it's not as fun.
Yeah, sure. In German we say, let me try to translate, a man, when they get older, they get a beer belly because the unemployed dwarf needs a roof above his head.
I'll have to try and find the English or even Welsh equivalent of that. I'm sure there's one that exists. Thanks for sharing your wisdom. So you tell me you got 3 boys. One's 18, one's 27, and there's one in the middle. Do they sort of follow in the musical footsteps of yourself?
No. They tried starting with guitar, but they didn't do. They are fully in sports. They are all playing football, very enthusiastic. And at the end, that's what they put in. And so only the middle one is a little bit in music, but not in playing by himself. He has a very wide taste of music. So to everything from hip hop to thrash metal and to from reggae to rock classics, whatever. This is very interesting, though. I'm always happy to see his, let's say, his list, his set list, what he is playing. Also in Spotify is very interesting. And the other guys are not so in music. Unfortunately, maybe I made something wrong, but maybe they saw always, this cannot be fun. It's only work.
I suppose.
They saw me practicing in front of the computer, in front of my laptop and working, maybe, but just kidding. Yeah.
No, but that's interesting to hear, because that's a topic we actually talk about reasonably often just as dads. It's the idea of passing the love of music on to our children, and do you push it or encourage it or force it, sort of where the line is? And from what I understand, you were quite, you were encouraging, but you respected what they wanted or what they didn't want, and you thought it best not push it. Is that your technique? Yeah,
exactly. So we gave my wife and myself, we gave her all the opportunities. We told them I have also the small children guitars in my cellar still. Nobody wants to have them, these quarters and halves, this concert, these concert guitars to start with. Yeah, I have them still, but they did not use it, just for a couple of days, weeks, or months, and then they found out, wow, this is really tough to learn an instrument. It's not so easy. So they didn't find to get enthusiastic by it. I think that's the story. Then one of the guys wanted to start drums, and I have organized a drum kit, but it still at the end was never used really. So yeah, we offered them the possibilities, or the opportunity, gave them the opportunities, but they didn't take it. It's okay. I don't want to force them. Everything, in my opinion, must come from yourself to really love it. That's my opinion. So, and I'm by myself the same type of person. So if somebody is forcing me, I don't like it. If I do it from my own and I like it very much, then it's great. Then it can become good, and you can become good in it. And this is my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I do not know.
No,
but there are a lot of opinions about it. Yes,
you speak sense. You speak a lot of sense. Like, for example, I played the trumpet between age 8 and 13, and I was sort of heavily encouraged by my mother. Hated the instrument, hated going to orchestras, and then I gave up, and then I independently wanted to pick up the bass guitar, and I hounded my mother for a bass guitar for my 14th birthday, and that's the best thing that she ever did, because then I had the independent love for music to choose what I wanted to listen to choose what I wanted to play, and what bands I wanted to see. So, you know, from my experience, it's what you did, I think, is a popular choice and a very good one, I think so. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that. It's nice to hear a bit more about your family and their hobbies. Now, coming to the end now, Frank, so again, thanks so much for speaking to us today. So now you were lucky enough to have grown up amongst the beginning of when metal music was getting, I suppose, darker, faster, becoming more rife with all these new subgenres being created. Now, from, say, the early 80s, when you guys were starting off in school...
Wait a second.
Oh, no problem.
My phone is ringing.
Oh, it's okay.
It was Gara, our singer.
Okay. I'll be done in a couple of minutes. Thank you, Frank. So just wondering, still from your time in the early 80s, is there a band you have which is your all-time or one of your favourite bands, which either still is in operation or doesn't exist anymore?
Exodus.
Exodus,
because this was the initial band I heard to really go to thrash metal. So at the beginning, for sure, we still hear everything, and I have ever heard every style of metal for sure. But at the beginning, we laughed, or also Gary and myself. At the beginning, we laughed for sure. A new wave of British heavy metal bands like Saxon and so on, and for sure Anvil and Exciter and all that, and AC/DC, Motorhead, and these things, and Metallica for sure. But as I heard the first time Bonded by Blood, I said, yeah, that's the music. That's the music I want to do. That's it. That's the story here. Now I found my thing. I never heard anything like that. And I said, wow, that's it. And I still love this band.
That is definitely a thrash classic or thrash staple. I have to ask you, what do you think about Persona Non Grata, the latest album?
To be honest, I did not hear it yet.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Very busy man. Listen, I think you'll like it. If you want to listen to anything while walking your dog, stick that album on. I think you'll be surprised. It's done really well in the critical side of metal music this year. It's definitely one of my favorites, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. But even though that's a new album from an older band, I've been doing a lot of listening over the past 2 years. I've probably listened to more metal music over the past 2 years than potentially 15 years. And I wondered, have you come across any new or newer band which you're a big fan of? So,
to be honest, currently my all-time favorite band is also a band which is no more existing. It's Nevermore.
Nevermore. Wow.
After a while, my metal taste a little bit changed, so I'm more in things like this, also things like Machine Head or stuff like this. Okay, these bands are also older ones, but just to explain what kind of music I currently prefer most, yeah. It's stuff like this.
That's amazing. Machine Head are probably the band I've accidentally seen more times than any other band, and they're coming to Cardiff with Amon Amarth in September this year, and I'm very, very excited to go and witness that. So you're talking about beer, and you mentioned Motorhead. I've got a little something special here.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I do not have any here with me yet, unfortunately. I just stopped working a couple of minutes ago. And luckily I'm able to do home office. So we have still regular jobs, and so I just stopped my Friday work, and so no beer until yet, just some coffee.
Yeah, that's very wise and very diplomatic of you, Frank. Very diplomatic. Hey, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you very much for your insight about what's upcoming. Of course, on the 25th of February, we've got the vinyl deluxe box set from your first 6 albums with Noise Records from 1986 to 1995. And of course, in September, hopefully, if all goes well, your next original studio album will be coming out. And I'm really looking forward to hearing it. And all the best tomorrow in the studio. Now, as we say in METALIDADS, whether it's whammy bars or weaning, napalm death or nappies, it's always good to talk. So thanks for talking to us. And as we say in Welsh, tan tro nesa. Until next time.
It was a pleasure for me. A great honor. Stay heavy. See you.
Stay heavy.
Guys.
Thank you, Frank. All the best.